Natasha Greenblatt.
And this is Rimah Jabr. Thank you so much for coming to Two Birds, One Stone.
Would you like to do the land acknowledgement?
Yes, I would. Thank
Go.
you. We would like to acknowledge that the land we're on is the traditional territory of the Wendat, the Petun, the Seneca, and the Mississaugas of the New Credit First Nation. This territory is covered by something called the Dish with One Spoon Wampum Belt Covenant, which is an agreement between the Haudenosaunee and the Ojibwe to peaceably share and care for the land and the resources around the Great Lakes.
Today, Toronto is home for many Indigenous people. It's also the place where Natasha and I met. We're grateful to have this opportunity to work on this land.
We are also mindful of the broken covenants and the need to imagine a different future that includes the restitution of stolen lands and the need to actively work for that future. So, sorry, one of the reasons we wanted to begin with this acknowledgement is that a lot of the themes we're working on have to do with land.
We don't need to explain too much here.
Okay. Oh yeah, okay. It's funny because, you know, when we were beginning to make this play, remember, Rimah, remember you said, you were like, I don't want this to be political, but, you know, she's, and I'm, and we're, so, yeah, you just, it's impossible. And even also, something else I wanted to tell you is that, like, you know how Rimah started on stage and I, like, came on afterwards, and I just don't want you to think it's...
explain this.
No, I know, I just don't want you to think it's like a metaphor or a symbol for something. No, it's just that Rimah wanted to start on stage and I didn't. I find that a little bit awkward sometimes when the audience is coming in and you don't know if you're supposed to say hi. So for me, I just wanted it to be a little more relaxed so you wouldn't think this was a serious play about serious issues.
It is serious.
No, it is serious. It is serious, but it's not only serious. Okay, we wrote this play together.
Natasha, they know all this information. They've been reading this in the program.
Okay, but this is important. Some of it's true, but it's not all true. It's not all true.
I'm starting. All these people around me, they want me to be a copy of them. Married, 7 children, working in a stupid job. I will wear a hijab because I get old. I will get a loan to buy a car, then I damage the car, but still I pay the loan. Then diabetes, high blood pressure, strokes, my eyes will fade, I will gain weight. I already gained 8 kilos since my father died. I'm practicing what I'm going to say to my blind date tomorrow to make him run away. My grandma doesn't like this strategy. Rimah, you will end up a complex, depressed, lonely woman without a husband. My grandma and I shared the same room. Teta, she's upset with me. She wants me to go to Israel to find her house in Khalid, the one she fled in 1948, but I don't want to go. It's too much of a hassle to get a permit to Israel. And above all, where would I find a house that was probably demolished 60 years ago? She's crazy. She takes her pills, she turns her face away. I need to leave this place as soon as possible. My horoscope says I'll make a big change this year. I hope I'll get that scholarship to go to France.
I'm drinking alone in a douchey bar on Ossington, trying to find someone to hook up with. That's what I'm supposed to do, right? Have sex with a bunch of people, pick one, go for brunch, make kale salads, and post pictures of my engagement photo shoot. I hate engagement photo shoots.
Is someone sitting here?
Nope. I'm Natasha.
I'm Bruce.
Bruce. Bad name, good face. So, Bruce, what do you do in life?
In life? I'm an actor in life.
I hate actors, male actors, some male actors, and I don't fuck them anymore.
What about you?
I'm an actor, but mostly I work in a video store.
Awesome. I love movies.
Great, me too. So, what's your sign?
Sagittarius.
I hate Sagittarians, male Sagittarians, some male Sagittarians.
What about you?
Sagittarius, you better watch out. I'm just about to hit my Saturn return. He pretends to be interested and then launches into his theory on acting and meditation. I pretend to be interested. He buys me a drink. I go to the washroom. Damn it, I knew I shouldn't have had that kale salad. Whatever, maybe I'll just get drunk and make out with Bruce. It'd probably be better than listening to him talk. When I get back, Bruce is gone. Whatever. I need to leave this city as soon as possible.
I didn't get the scholarship. This is the third time I apply. This is it. I will live my whole life in Nablus, the city that is covered in garbage, dirty cats, in between two mountains facing each other, no horizon, no air. Even the sun doesn't like us. Amélie, the director of the French Cultural Center, has her opinion about it.
You should move to Ramallah.
I don't want to move to Ramallah. I want to go to Europe.
I must go set up the projector for the film. We talk after. You will stay.
I don't know. There is no space.
It is a very interesting film. It is about a hat that travels around the world.
Why all these people? I try to go to Europe and they all come here. You, Project Hope. You, Médecins Sans Frontières. You, The Right to Play. You, Blonde. Very beautiful girls, happy creatures, passionate, talented, educated, free, independent, well-organized, very honest, helpful, caring people. You come here to search for yourselves. Why would you bother yourselves watching a movie here? You have big cinemas in your countries where you can watch everything you want while eating popcorn and Coca-Cola, big size, with your lover next to you in a comfortable seat. You should leave a space for us.
I apply for birthright.
As you know, we offer a free trip to Israel for anyone with Jewish heritage. So,
Well, my mother is half, but through her mother, so technically
brothers
I'm,
or sisters?
2 brothers.
Circumcised?
Me?
Your brothers.
My father couldn't bring himself to cut.
Will you?
What?
When you have kids, will you circumcise them?
I haven't actually thought about that.
Married?
No.
Single?
Is this really necessary?
Have you ever dated a Jew?
Not that I know of.
Why
but
not?
I don't usually choose.
Anti-Semitic?
No.
Self-hating?
A little bit, but not.
Who's his sister?
Miriam.
His brother?
Noah?
How many mitzvahs are there?
A whole bunch.
What year is it?
5,000 and something?
Do you eat pork?
No, just bacon and sausages.
What do you think of the state of Israel?
It's complicated.
But do you support its right to exist?
I guess so.
Don't you think we need a homeland, a refuge, a place to go in case it happens again?
Of course.
Do you have any survivors in your family?
What?
Holocaust survivor?
I don't know.
You don't know.
Well, we don't really talk about it.
Why do you want to go to Israel?
Well, because
Huh?
I
Why do you want to go to Israel?
Sesame Street.
I'm in Ramallah. I work for Sesame Street. I make $900 a month. That must be what my horoscope was talking about. It's mostly administrative, but I also write funny captions for the program. I tell this to my friend Yusuf when I meet him in a cafe.
Sesame Street?
Yeah, the Palestinian version. Here, the count goes like this. 1 stone, 2 stones, 3 stones. Ha, 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 ha. Grover makes Molotovs and Elmo is protesting peacefully at the checkpoint.
Sesame Street. They work with the Israelis. They normalize the occupation.
That was in the past. The Palestinian Sesame Street and the Israeli Sesame Street were the same program after Oslo Peace Accord. Now that everything collapsed, it's separated. It's 100% Palestinian. I like the director. She's letting me take a month off from work to go attend the theater workshop with the Belgian playwright in Beit Jala.
Beit Jala. It's this close to Jerusalem. Most of the events that they're organized there are for normalizing with the colonial settler apartheid situation.
It is just a normal theater workshop with some normal Belgians. No need to be paranoid.
I'm just giving you my advice as your friend. The Israelis, they can just cross the wall and they're there in 5 minutes. If you ever meet an Israeli, remember to look in their eyes.
When I go shopping in Israel and buy a nice bag like yours, I will remember to look in their eyes.
I didn't buy this bag. It's from work. Are you doubting my loyalty?
Are you in a bad mood?
I cut the funds from the NGO where I work. No more money from US aid.
Because Hamas won the election.
Where do you get your funds?
US aid? Do you think they'll cut the fund for Sesame Street too?
I can't right now, Mom. I've got too much packing and organizing.
It will only take a few hours.
I'm really busy.
Okay, fine. I'll go by myself. I'll go by myself to look for a cemetery for my son.
Oh, come on.
You need to talk about it.
Do we have any survivors in our family?
What?
Holocaust survivors.
I've told you about this.
No, you haven't.
Yes, I have, but you never listen when I talk.
Okay, well, I'm listening now.
Okay, well, what do you want to know?
Did anyone in our family die in the Holocaust?
Well, your great-grandfather Harry grew up in a shtetl near Bialystok in Poland. He immigrated to England after the First World War. The rest of his family stayed in Poland. His sister came to visit in 1939. They knew things were bad in Poland, but no one knew how bad. He begged his sister to stay, but she had a life in Poland, so she went back, and he never heard from her again, or anyone else of his family, so after the war, he assumed they were all dead.
He didn't look for them?
It was too painful.
How can you not know what happened to your entire family?
They didn't have the same technology back then.
But how could he not go there and look?
They knew what happened in Poland. There was nothing left. I think that's why he bought the house in Israel.
What house in Israel?
Harry bought it in 1948 when the country was still forming. I told you about this.
No.
I'm sure I did.
Okay, fine, you told me. Tell me again.
It was in the north of the country, near the sea, in a city called Netanya. He always wanted to move there, but his wife, my grandmother, wouldn't let him. She was British. She didn't want to live in the Middle East. I remember I was there once when I was very young. They sold it when he died. I think we still have a copy of the deed somewhere.
Can we find it?
We can try. About that cemetery. It wouldn't take long. We could go right now. I think it would be really good for you if you are involved in choosing.
I really can't do this right now, Mom. I have to pack.
USAID decides children in Palestine don't need Sesame Street. After all, they have stones. I'm terminated. On the day I get my termination letter, I received this email from the Belgian playwright. They are inviting 5 Palestinians from their workshop, including me, to go to Belgium and make a play with 5 Belgian actors. But first I have to get my visa, so I don't step on water. I avoid ladders. If I spill salt, I throw it over my head. I pray 5 times a day, although I don't believe. Please give me this visa. Everything will be fine as long as my grandma stays away from me with her evil curses. She doesn't want me to go to Belgium. She thinks if I go, I never come back. She won't stop asking me to go find her house in Khalid.
Are you going?
They demolished everything. There's nothing left.
It's a beautiful house. Why would they demolish it? They took it.
Are you doing the accent?
Yeah, we said we were going to do the accents.
Why?
Because I think it helps differentiate between the characters.
I don't think it works.
It works.
It doesn't
no,
work.
No, I think it works.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry. It's a beautiful house. Why would they demolish it? They took it.
I'll go next year.
I'll be dead next year.
You know, Teta, I haven't found much information about Khalid on the internet. It seems it was a boring village.
It was not a boring village. We had the radio. Your grandfather used to go to the cafe and listen to the radio. You know all the songs.
Teta, look at your smile.
Shut your mouth.
You didn't mean my grandfather. You meant your first husband, your true love. Why didn't you have kids with him?
Go find the house and take a photo in front of the door.
No, Teta, حبيبتي. I won't sneak there without a permit. ملفي لازم يضل نظيف. I won't risk my visa. بديش مشاكل.
You're selfish. You don't have any feelings.
You're the one who doesn't have feelings. You humiliate my mother who serves you like a daughter.
You didn't even cry when your father died.
I didn't have time to cry. I had to find a job to feed you and my 7 brothers and sisters. Why do you people make so many children?
You should be married and have children like your sisters.
حلي عني.
This theater thing is bullshit. It is haram. It will never give you a proper life. You will be desperate and poor forever.
I don't care.
I hope they don't give you the visa to go to Belgium.
I hope I never come back.
Your brother will stop you. I will tell him to stop you.
Listen, I'm going to Belgium and no one will stop me.
Birthright is intense. A group of Israeli soldiers join our trip halfway. They all speak English very well, and most of them are quite attractive. I mean, appealing. I mean, they're very interesting.
Robin, one of the Belgian actors, is helping me apply for theater school.
Remember, our trip leader says, remember their eyes when you go back home. These aren't the eyes of bad people.
She lends me money. She even has a room for me to live.
But I'm not going back. After the trip, I find a cheap hostel in Tel Aviv. It is the most beautiful city I've ever seen.
Europe, finally. I always loved September.
I'm going to stay in Israel.
Belgium.
I'm going to stay in Israel.
It's me.
No, I think it's me.
No.
No, I think it's me.
Really?
The sun is shining down on the Bauhaus buildings. The beaches are golden and never ending. The water warm and salty. The fruits and vegetables are always in season. Maybe I'll stay here for a little while and try and find my great-grandfather's house. I'm on the beach and I see 15 cats gathered in a sort of coven, staring into the ocean, looking so peaceful. And I feel like I'm home.
The school is really hard. They talk about things I've never heard of. I feel lost. I feel small. I feel I'm behind. I was lazy. I was always happy that we didn't go to school during curfews. I like that half of our textbooks were deleted because they talk about Palestine. We only read the books they wanted us to read. We didn't hear Western music, we didn't see Western films, except for the stupid ones. Here I am, a dumb person with no knowledge, no vocabulary. What culture I can draw on? Some traumas. I need to grieve everything I missed in my life. I need to listen to sad music.
Rimah, can you do the dishes, please?
Is this the Flemish accent?
I'm not going to do the Flemish accent.
You wanted to do accents.
No, it's really hard.
Now it's hard.
I think it's fine in this part.
I think we need it here.
No, we don't need it. I've got the phone, I've got the hair down, it's fine.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Sorry. Rimah, can you do the dishes, please?
I have to work on my final presentation for tomorrow and I can't focus. Robin, can you help me, please? Why did I choose a solo? I hate monologues.
Make it about yourself, about something you know very well. And you need to work on your voice. Your presentation yesterday was terrible. I couldn't hear anything you said. You need to read, you need to see more theater, you know nothing.
It's your appointment tomorrow.
So?
Is the father coming with you?
He still won't answer his phone.
I took a day off. I'm coming with you to the hospital.
You don't have to do that, I'll be fine.
Are you kidding me? Alone you won't be fine. You need me.
I'll be fine.
This is an abortion.
I know.
I'm coming with you. End of discussion.
Thank you.
There, women are too protected. Here, you're so vulnerable.
At least here it's our choice.
In both cases, there is a problem.
You're a bit conservative.
For you, maybe, but there I'm considered a crazy feminist. Actually, I don't fit neither here nor there.
Are you dating anyone?
No,
What about that Canadian guy who sent you the book of poetry?
he's just a friend. Do you believe it? It's the first time in my life I receive mail.
Don't change the subject. You should start dating. We should find you a nice man here in Belgium.
I don't like Belgian men, especially actors. They make you pregnant and they never answer their phones.
Not every guy is an asshole. I just always choose the bad ones. Are you not lonely?
Yeah. I'm searching for pure love. This love that makes you smile like an idiot. Like my grandma's smile when she talked about her first husband. At what time we have to be in the hospital tomorrow?
8 a.m.
I'll set the alarm, it will be fine. Put your phone away. Forget about him. I take care of you.
Purim in Tel Aviv is like Halloween in Toronto on crack. There are DJs on every corner. The streets are full of sexy zombies and sexy nurses and sexy Holocaust survivors. I see a young woman sitting on a bench without a costume, just a red nose. I like your nose.
Thank you. I like your...
Yeah, it's a superhero costume.
Oh, I see you put the underwear on top of the tights.
I'm Natasha.
Lior, where are you from?
Toronto.
Birthright.
Right. And you're...
Israeli.
So, what do you do in life?
Oh, I'm starting a peace project. I'm raising money to build a permaculture farm in the desert, bringing Palestinians and Israelis and internationals together. I care about the environment, not the state. If we don't have any more water, we'll all die.
That's amazing. I would love to come see it sometime.
Sure, how long are you planning to stay?
Well, I don't have a return ticket.
Do you like this party?
I've never seen anything like it in my entire life.
But do you know the story of Purim?
Esther, right?
That's right.
When I was little, we used to go to these Purim parties where we would dress up like the characters from the Bible story and act it out. So there's Esther, this beautiful and intelligent young woman. There's her uncle Mordecai. There's the king of Persia, whose name I never remember, and his evil advisor Haman. The king falls in love with Esther and decides to marry her because she's so beautiful and intelligent, but her uncle Mordecai tells her never to let anyone know she's Jewish. One day, Mordecai has an altercation with the king's evil advisor Haman. Haman is so furious that he decides to kill all the Jews. Classic. He asks the king's permission and the king's like, sure, go for it. So Haman issues an order to kill all the Jews on a certain day. When Mordecai hears about this, he goes to Esther and he's like, Esther, you must finally tell the king, your husband, you're Jewish, and save your people. Esther is terrified. The king had killed his first wife Vashti for disobedience, but she musters up her courage and she does it anyway. The king is so in love with her because she's so beautiful and intelligent that he decides to put a stop to Haman and save all the Jews. It's this empowering story about being true to yourself.
That's not
and
the end of the story.
It's not?
No. When Esther tells the king she's Jewish, he says, I cannot reverse Haman's order. Instead, I will issue a new one that lets the Jews kill their enemies. And I will give them the weapons to do it. On the day of Haman's order, the Jews killed 75,000 people, including Haman and his sons. And Mordecai takes Haman's house.
I've never heard that part of the story. Are you sure that's how it ends?
Yes, I'm sure. On Purim 1994, a settler went into a mosque in Hebron and shot 29 Muslims while they prayed. Every year, I come to watch my people drink Just to remember what we are drinking to forget.
But that's not what we're celebrating. I mean, that's not what Purim means to me.
I'm 10. I'm small and thin. I have short hair, but I don't care. There's a small convenience store in the building where we live. I'm walking downstairs to buy sugar. My grandma doesn't drink tea without sugar. At the door, I meet him. He looks older than the other soldiers. He speaks Arabic fluently. I don't get it. How come an Israeli soldiers and Arab soldiers only speak Hebrew? He approaches me. The Bedouin Israeli soldier is really close to me. He holds a machine gun with one hand and a chocolate bar with the other hand. I hold the 10 shekel bill in both hands. Would you like some chocolate? No. When I get back home, I'm shaking. I didn't buy sugar, and I realized that I lost the money. My teacher nods his head.
You have a lot to tell us about the situation there.
I don't want to tell you about the situation there. I want to become an actor. What do you think of my acting?
I like the way you told the story. It's different than what we read about in the press. It's more human. The way you described the soldier, someone who likes chocolate. You have a very good imagination.
This is not my imagination. This happened for real. And the soldier was holding a machine gun too.
Think about it. You're a writer, not an actor.
Although my presentation isn't brilliant, but it gets a lot of attention. People want to hear more stories. They want to hear traumas. My presentation opens a political discussion at school, but they all try their best to stay neutral.
But Hamas does send rockets into Israel. They're basically just giving them an excuse to bomb Gaza.
Hamas wasn't there in 1948 when my grandma's house was taken. All of a sudden, I want to explain and talk to prove to them that they are wrong. I want to tell them more stories. All of a sudden, I'm concerned by every single news report from Palestine. All of a sudden, I realize that I feel guilty. I didn't go search for my grandma's house. Why didn't I go?
So, if my great-grandfather had actually moved here like he wanted to, if they hadn't sold that house, then I would be Israeli.
Would you like that?
I don't know.
Would you have served in the army?
We're not going to light this?
No, we're not allowed to. No flames, no heat. Tarragon rules for health and safety. Define safety. Would you have served in the army?
I hate guns. They make me nauseous.
Everyone has to serve unless they say they are crazy or religious or they marry.
Why doesn't everyone just get married or religious?
It's not that easy. If you don't serve in the army, you'll never get a job. People will think you're a coward who lets other people do their dirty work.
Did you serve?
Of course. When I was the age, I went like all my friends.
What was it like?
Did you enjoy Birthright?
Yes and no. I mean, there is a lot of propaganda.
But you fell in love a little bit.
It's just that everything feels so important here, you know? Like, everything feels so complicated and rich and...
Your country is peaceful, no?
Yes. Well, for some people. I mean, we have a terrible history with our indigenous people. Their lands were stolen, their children were taken from them, but there's still a lot of racism and injustice. But it's not like here. I mean, There's no wars or bombs or...
You're lucky your great-grandfather didn't move here.
I can imagine how he felt when he came here. He lost his sister, you know. His entire family in the war. I think maybe he was looking for them here.
You are a little bit romantic.
Maybe.
You should be careful. They say this country is like a drug. You could be hooked.
Have you ever heard of Netanya?
It's 20 minutes away.
It is?
Yeah.
What's it like?
They have a really big IKEA there.
I'm gonna go find it.
IKEA?
No, the house. I'm gonna go find that house.
I'm writing a play. But I can't really write about the character of the soldier. I don't know him. I recall all my experiences with soldiers. The one who offered me chocolate, the one who dropped his bullet cartridge in our house and was scared to death, the soldiers who caught me outside during curfew, the one who hit my mother on her leg, the soldier who took my father's ID and made us run after the military jeep for 15 minutes to get the ID back, the soldier who shot my cousin on a swing, the one who grabbed my brother by the throat and almost killed him. I can't really get into this character. I can't see through the uniform. I write his parting questions. Do you like chocolate? Are your parents still alive? Do they miss you? Do you go out at night? Do you think of what you do during the day when you go back home? How many times did you smile today? Did you ever kill someone? Did we meet before? Look at me.
Tell me about him. What was he like? I want to know details.
He grew tomatoes on his greenhouse. I remember him standing on his head in his garden to make us laugh. He was a short man. He had a very thick accent. He hated religion. He found a group that wanted to move to Israel. They didn't dream of a Jewish state. They dreamt of a home.
And what about the house? Can you remember anything specific? Was it close to the sea, a synagogue, any landmarks?
I was very young.
Please try. Anything. Close your eyes.
It was light, white walls, bright sunshine. I remember it was on a corner and there was nothing else on the other side of the street. I'm sorry, that's all I remember. Are you okay?
I can almost see it. It's on a hill. There's an orange tree in the garden. It's made of stone or wood or... I can almost feel it. It's so close. Netanya is just north of Tel Aviv. I felt so numb ever since. But now, I feel like I'm starting to thaw.
A former Israeli soldier who's a friend of my teacher is here to see the play. He stays after the performance. This is the first time in my life I speak to an Israeli who's not wearing a uniform.
I recognize myself in your play. I ask myself the same questions you ask this soldier. I left Israel in the 70s. I didn't like living there. It's hard growing up in a kibbutz, so after the war with Egypt, we moved to Belgium. Do you like living here?
I think we both like it here.
Do you go back sometimes?
I miss it a lot.
Where are you from there?
Nablus, Shechem. And you?
I served in Hebron.
No, where did you live there?
In the north.
Where in the north?
By the sea.
You don't give a specific location.
You wouldn't recognize it.
He maybe lived in my grandma's house. So you served in the army.
Yes.
Do you regret it?
I live in Antwerp with my family. Maybe you can come visit us sometime and we can talk about it.
I wanted to discuss the act of killing with him. I know a man who was crossing a checkpoint. It was a rainy day, muddy. Israeli soldiers told him to dance like a chicken. He did. Then they told him to do a monkey or they wouldn't let him cross the checkpoint. He did. Killing isn't the worst thing that happens there. People lose their children and they still survive. What people cannot live with is this constant humiliation. This man blew himself up at that checkpoint a year after that incident.
I'm trying to find out some more information about the house in Netanya. All I know is that my great-grandfather bought it in 1948. Back in Toronto, my mother is still trying to find the deed. Lately, it's the thing that I wish for if I lose an eyelash or I see that it's 11:11 on the clock. Please let me find that house.
Forget about Netanya, you'll see Nablus.
Is it safe?
You think of Gaza, this is West Bank, it's fine. I'm going to search for a Palestinian partner for my peace project. They invited me to see a movie in Nablus. You'll come.
So we take a bus to Jerusalem and then another bus to Ramallah. From there, we take a taxi to the city of Nablus.
It used to take only 1 hour to travel from Tel Aviv to Nablus. Now, because of the wall, it takes over 3 hours.
Nablus is beautiful. It is the third oldest city in the entire world after Damascus and Jericho. Stone buildings line the sides of 2 mountains. Shops are full of fashionable hijabs and sexy underwear and running shoes. There are falafel stands and coffee stands everywhere. Carts overflowing with lemons and dates and olives. Shop vendors scream out their wares as little kids run all around us.
Hello, where are you from?
I'm nervous that someone will find out that we're Jewish, that Lior is Israeli, and that I went on birthright. One of the soldiers told me about a group of Israelis that had wandered into the West Bank by accident and were killed, their bodies ripped apart limb from limb.
Hello, American.
We get to the French Cultural Center to watch the movie. The room is buzzing with energy. It's full of young people speaking English with different accents, Japanese, Italian, American. I see a young Palestinian woman holding a chair above her head, looking for a place to sit. She stands completely still. She is caught up in the excitement of the moment. It's a very interesting movie. It's about a hat that travels around the world. It's not really like a narrative film, it's more like a documentary. So the director, this French-Canadian woman, she worked with kids from around the world to create these short films about this magical hat that would fly from country to country, and wherever the hat went, it would give the kids the power to fix whatever was troubling them. So, so in Tanzania, it's disease. In India, it's the caste system. In Canada, it's poverty and bullying, and in Palestine, the hat makes the Israeli soldier trade places with the Palestinian at the checkpoint.
They can watch it online.
I actually couldn't find it.
I found it. It's called Le Chapeau Magique.
That's not totally true. Rimah, can you do the dishes, please?
6 million? Where were you people?
I wasn't born yet.
6 million, and people say they didn't know what was happening. If the world couldn't stop 6 million from being burned and killed, why would they care about people in Gaza? Apparently, the Israeli soldiers are the only ones who know what they are doing to us.
Well, if you go visit the former soldier, maybe you can talk to him about it.
Of course, I'm not visiting him.
Why not? You look like you could be cousins. You're both in the same shit.
You Europeans put us both in the same shit.
You're blocked. I hope one day you'll be more open.
You don't understand. I hope one day you'll understand.
Explain it to me.
It's too complicated. There's too much in the way. I could never be friends with a soldier, an Israeli soldier.
Why not?
This is the only power I have, and I only have it here, outside of Palestine, the power of rejecting any communication with them. This soldier lived in the north of the country, near the sea. He maybe lived in Netanya, what we call Khalid. Visiting him is a betrayal to my grandma. He might have taken her house.
That's crazy.
It is crazy.
Well, if you won't visit the soldier, at least do the dishes.
I'm reading. I'll do them later.
Why did you ask him to drop us off back there, away from the bus stop?
Last time I came this way, I was harassed by settlers when a Palestinian car dropped me off.
How did they know it was a Palestinian car?
They have different license plates. That's how they stop them at checkpoints.
So you didn't want to be seen getting out of a Palestinian car?
Settlers are crazy. They spit at me. They called me names. I'd rather avoid this, no?
Yeah, for sure. What about the bus? Can anyone ride the bus, or?
No, it's only for Israeli settlers. And tourists, of course, like you.
So we're going to take a bus that Palestinians aren't allowed to ride?
It's faster.
I'm not getting on that bus.
Don't be silly.
Well, you don't think there's a problem taking a bus that discriminates based on ethnicity?
I need to go back to Israel without passing through a checkpoint. It wouldn't be good for my project if my name gets in the system.
So it's okay to treat people like second-class citizens?
It's so perfect in Canada, where you live. You said you treat your indigenous people badly. Why don't you go back there and fight for them? Why you come here to tell us to be better?
I am connected here because
because of your great-grandfather's house, right? He probably stole that house from a Palestinian. You're the same as all of us, making a claim on this land. The former Israeli soldier, his wife, their son, he's a lovely boy. He looks like my nephew. Me, the grandparents, the cousins. Oh, and a lazy cat. I decided to be open. I went to visit the former Israeli soldier who might have taken my grandma's house. I went for dinner, for Passover. All was okay until they started reading from Torah and singing in Hebrew.
Ma nishtana halayla hazeh mikol
For
halayla.
me, Hebrew means a soldier shouts at my father, open the door. Hebrew means they announce the curfew. Hebrew means you can't pass. Hebrew means hide. Hebrew means weapon. Hebrew means prison. Hebrew means hands up, shoes off, turn around. Hebrew means those might be the last words you'll hear. How many Hebrew songs will I need to hear in order to get over it?
I'm back at the hostel. I needed a break from Lior. She's so hypocritical. And anyways, I hate clowns. If I was Israeli, I wouldn't just accept how bad things were, I would do something about it. If I was Israeli, I wouldn't serve in the army.
Thank you.
Well, I mean, I don't think I would serve in the army, but I don't know. Netanya was settled in 1946 when a group of Zionists bought some land in the Arab town of Khalid. Khalid was a village on the northern coast of Palestine. It was evacuated in 1948 during the War of Independence.
The Nakba.
The Nakba means disaster.
When the Palestinians were expelled from their homes. Teta, can you hear me?
I can't see you. Turn on your video.
A video? Teta, I was saying that we don't celebrate Ramadan in Belgium. They're all infidel.
Haram.
They all go to hell. I'll go to hell too.
Haram. Come home before the feast.
Teta, could you please tell me about your life in Khalid, about your first husband? I would like details.
I was 19.
Drop the accent.
I was 19. No, I was 18. He was working in an orange grove with Jews. It was early morning. He sang as he walked down the hill. I watched him from the front door until he disappeared. He never came home that night. I was worried sick. Maybe he ran off with another woman. Maybe he got on a boat and went to England. Maybe he was killed by the Jewish militia. We knew what had happened in the other villages. Then the Jews attacked us. Everyone fled the village. Maybe he came back and he didn't know I had to go. Our baby died 1 month before this happened. I lost everything all at once. The only thing left is that house.
You don't remember if there was a mosque, a school, any sign?
I left my shawl on the almond tree. That was the sign that we used between us in case I wasn't home. That way, he wouldn't have to climb the hill alone. Instead, he waited at his parents' house and we would walk home together. When the Nakba happened, I fled with everyone, but I left my shawl on the almond tree so that if he came home, he would know I had to go.
You didn't look for him after you left? What was his name? What was his name?
I forget. Come home before I die.
You will not die. I'm coming back next week.
I'm making this play about my great-grandfather, but I don't know him. I don't understand him. So I write his part in questions. How could you not look for your sister? Was she older or younger? Did she make you laugh? Did she like chocolate? Did she make you mad? Did you look but never tell anyone? Why did you buy a house in Israel? Did you feel safe here? Was the house made of stone or wood or glass? How could you not look for your sister?
ما بيسألش عليا أبدا ولا بتشوف عليا أبدا
يا ما ناديته واترجيته يا ما ناديته واترجيته
إنه يرق شوية أبدا. My grandma's first husband always sang her this song. It's about someone who's blaming his lover for not checking on him. I can see her wearing her brown skirt, sitting on the balcony, watching the sea. What a beautiful life she had. Even it didn't last for a long time, but at least she lived 19 beautiful years. Teta, I'm home. I'll go find your house. For your love, I apply for a permit. They said they'll issue 10,000 permits for the Feast of Ramadan, so people can go to Jerusalem to pray and to visit their relatives who live behind the wall. I need one. I go to the Palestinian Coordination Security Office.
Do you have any relatives in Israel?
I have a friend.
It has to be a parent or a sibling.
And for the prayer, don't they issue permits for the prayer?
You want to pray?
What, don't I look Muslim?
Are you married?
Excuse me?
They only issue permits for married people.
Well, a possibility a married woman would blow herself up is much higher than a single one. Not funny. How can I get a permit?
You need to have a medical appointment in a hospital in Jerusalem. Come back later.
I'm running out of time. I have to go back to Belgium. Can you help me?
It's not in our hands. We're just coordinators. We process the applications and we pass them on to the Israelis.
Many people got permits. Why not me? I'm sure you can do something.
The Israelis play this game. They say they'll issue 10,000 permits for the feast, but then they make all these rules. Look at the board on the wall. Only 423 permits were issued. It's not that I don't want to help you. I can't. You can do your shopping in Nablus. Why go to Jerusalem?
I won't do anything stupid to sneak to Israel, climb a wall, crawl through a sewage pipe, or go under a fence. I'll try this permit one more time.
I go to the budget rental office in Tel Aviv to rent a car, to drive to Netanya. This is it. The highways are big and new, winding effortlessly through the rolling hills of the coast. I'm finally gonna find that house. I'll see what my great-grandfather saw. I'll stand where he stood. When I get there, an old woman will open the door and she'll say,
You look familiar. Have we met?
and I'll tell her all about my great-grandfather and
I knew him very well. Come in, have some food.
I imagine a different life, a hard life for sure, but a life filled with passion and purpose, a life where it never... There's the IKEA.
I find a doctor who can give me a paper to say that I have a medical appointment in a hospital in Israel. But when I get to the Palestinian office, it's closed. This is my 5th time here. There is this man standing in front of the office.
Those Palestinian Authority guys are puppets. Don't think they can help you. You need to know someone very important. VIP, Yanni.
Thank you for the help.
If you want, I know someone. He has a car. He sneaks people there. If you want, we can go there together.
Fuck off.
When I get to the city hall, I talk to an old man at the front desk. He tells me to go to the Tabo, the land registry.
I tried the permit one more time.
His name was Harry Ratoff, and he bought a house in Netanya in 1948.
I have a medical appointment in a hospital in Israel.
A block number?
What do you mean it's too late?
We used to have a deed, but we lost it.
Let me talk to your manager.
Well, can't you look it up, or...
This is my 6th time here.
We don't have his passport.
بدي ارجع بعدين.
It was a long time ago.
بدي اطلع التصريح هلا.
I don't have anything.
أنا مش رايحة أتولدن ولا أشم الهواء
I'm
هناك.
sorry for wasting your time.
This is
stupid.
stupid. Netanya is just half an hour drive from Nablus and I can't go.
You're not gonna destroy the set?
No. We talked about it, me getting angry and destroy the set, but it's not this kind of anger. No. It's this feeling when you just reach the highest level of anger and you just give up. I don't know how to call it in English.
I had a dream about my little brother, but in my dream, he's not dead. My little brother died when he was 15. He drowned when he was at camp. But in my dream, he's not dead. He's still there up north. And we just never looked for him. In my dream, he's a little bit annoyed with us. I guess it was kind of stupid to think that I could find the house with just a name and a date.
At least you tried. Do you like it in Nablus?
I love it.
Is it safe?
It's the West Bank, Mom. It's not Gaza.
I know. It just...
I know. I'm coming home soon.
I'm glad.
Did you find the cemetery yet?
Not yet. I'm waiting for you.
Can you hear that? It's the call to prayer. It's so...
Theta, if you click with your finger here, you'll hear the sea. It's the only thing that's still the same. It wasn't exactly how you described it to me. It's even more beautiful. I found a citrus grove, and this orange is for you. It isn't ripe yet.
I thought you said you didn't get the permit.
I've got a magical hat.
No, really.
Really.
Next time you find that house.
Inshallah.
When are you going back to Belgium?
After tomorrow. Teta, do you remember I told you about this Canadian guy who sent me his book? He's a poet.
Is he the one?
Do you think I'll end up living in Canada? It's far and cold.
First Ramallah, then Belgium, now Canada.
I haven't gone to Canada yet. I still have to apply for a visa.
You will live in Canada.
How do you know?
Your stupid smile.
Oh, one last thing, sorry. This is just an orange.
Rimah.
It's not a metaphor
No,
or anything.
I think they know that.
No, they'll think it's about peace.
No, I think they understand.
It's not a symbol.